Okay, 8 feet might have been a little ambitious. I was only able to get it in this direction. So now I got to figure out how to not only get it horizontal, well, not horizontal, but 90 degrees from where it is, but slip it under that pipe without goofing up the insulation. Okay, it actually worked really well. I got, you know, enough here that I can sneak my way up, and it's hitting that corner post. So we're gonna go ahead and get back in there further, bring everything with us, and see what we can find. It looks like way up there, that's that vent line for the shower. I just don't, as much as I'd like to just real quick run it up that outside wall, there's no way I can get myself back in there to pull that and make sure it's sealed and insulated and stuff. I think we have to come up in the closet. It's gonna be a big pain in the butt. Maybe I can run it up the other wall. Maybe that's what I do. I move the, yeah, let's go down and look at it. I feel like crawling out of that attic like a bear coming out of hibernation. It's just exhausting. But so these vents, right? It's real close to the drain. You can see, well, you can't see it, but there's a trap, right? So the drain goes down and goes back up, and there's a U-shaped pocket of water to keep the stinky stuff coming out of the drain. And then you need the vent to be above water level. So maybe when the floors apart will do a better explanation. But essentially, this needs to be where only air gets to it on the slope of the drain, right? So this one's so close that it's good. If I move it, it has to connect there and then have a slope to wherever I move it to. But if we move the shower drain over here, because the main drain line goes this way anyway, then I can just run the vent right up this wall. And when it goes into the ceiling, there should be plenty of slope available from the way that pipe was. Okay, so I got the pump off and our valve closed. So we need I want to put the caps from here down there just to get them away from the wall. Not worry about cutting it further down when we replace it with PEX to run over here. So cold water, no more pressure. Hot water, so no more pressure in the system. But all that means is that our water level is like right here, right? There's nothing to push it out over the edge. So if I cut lower than that, anything in the house in both the bathrooms that's higher than this level is going to spill over. So we need to go downstairs and run those. So now, same thing. Nice slow trickle. It's just gravity. It's going to let all the water from upstairs out of the pipes that isn't stuck in the pipes. So if you have a good seal, it's going to be like putting your thumb on a straw. Okay, so I'm going to pull these caps first, and then we'll cut the bottom, recap the bottom, turn the water back on and see if she leaks or not. So, I don't know how professionals, which I'm not a professional, just know enough to get myself in trouble, how they do this without burning the walls. Like, I always end up with like char marks. I feel like I'm gonna set the house on fire, because maybe they're more patient than I am. See it. I hope the other side looks good. I think it feels like it pulled it up in there, so I can't see the other side. I'll cut the camera and try to get my head back there without burning my cheeks. Okay, so we have the power off. One thing you want to do, if you don't have a meter, you can get little 3-prong things that will plug in a socket and the light will come on. You know, they'll show you if your polarity's right and that kind of thing. But do live, did live, right? Check everything you're turning off before you turn it off. Then check that it's off after you turn it off. And then you take your meter to something you know is on and make sure your meter still shows that that's on. I mean, electricity is nothing to joke around with. I mean, you can flood your house and you can set it on fire, but if you grab the wrong wires at the wrong time, there's nothing to watch and laugh at before disaster strikes. So yeah, the one serious moment for John is with electricity. Don't mess with it. So, but once we knew everything's off, we went ahead and cut these. So the idea is going to be that one of these that goes to the light we will pull through and bring over to this light and tie it in. We stole the wire nuts from that just in case. That light runs off this switch, right? So now this switch will just do both overhead. No big deal, it's fine by us. So we're gonna bring those wire nuts up. I got some spare electrical tape in my pocket, strippers, cutters. We want screwdriver. I don't think I'll need a Phillips. I shouldn't need a Phillips, but I'll go grab one just in case. I don't have to lug the drill around. And then yeah, we'll get up in the attic with the light and just have a bad time. Okay, so you can kind of see one way back there in the corner. That's the one above the toilet. It's gonna be awful to reach. And there's the one above the shower, that silver dome. And then I got myself a 36-inch wide piece of 3/4 I'm gonna slap down there just so I can start getting a look at things without too much fiberglass around. Yeah, but I can't film and do a lot of this movement at the same time, so we'll just be in and out as needed. That's the jacuzzi line, that big one. So we're gonna go back downstairs because I need a break from this. It's hot, like hot, disgusting hot. I need to break that sealant from below so it's easier to pull these wires up because they're just really in there. I'm having trouble just yanking on them with one hand, and I got all these guys to watch out for. It's like if I stick my head up too high, I catch a nail in the dome. So yeah, I think it's worth. We'll crawl down, cool off a little bit, try to loosen that up, and then all we gotta do is pull that one over and get this disconnected downstairs, and we'll go from there. Okay, I was able to push these up through the bottom after messing with the sealant. So here's that big one for the jet tub. It's stuck to me. There we go. And this one was on its own circuit, 20 amp. So what I'd really like to do is I'll disconnect it from the breaker for now for safety, and then maybe before we put the wall up, I'll run that into the garage and use it for the air compressor, because that'd be nice to have it on its own dedicated circuit. So we'll see. It might be easier to just run a new wire through the basement and use its slot, but either way, here's the ones from the can light. So should be one that goes to it and one that gets power. So here's this one under the board. This is powered. So when we turn the breaker back on for all the lights, this wire will be hot. So we got to chase this one back. Find out what junction. I just want to get it out of the. Oh, poke me right in the butt cheek. Alright, that's this one. And this guy, that goes to that can light, is already wired. Which is the light. Yeah, so that one's already wired to the light. All we need to do is tie it in to these. I need more arms. So we'll tie it in here, and then both lights will come on at the same time. Okay, so we're all tied in to the other light. We're pulled through the box like we should be. We'll pack those back in, get the cap on, and then all we have to do is find this live one and disconnect the other end of it properly. Okay, so I followed that wire back. It goes up here. I'm not going to dig around in it, but it goes down to the wall switch for the other lights. So I ran it down into the room. We're going to trace it, find it out there, and disconnect it, and then deal with it after that. Okay, so first glance, this will look like a hot, hairy mess, but it's not. Right? You got your whites, you got clear ones, you got black, your hot line. I think black's hot. Either way, black's the one that matters. The other ones tie together. So I got my meter clipped to the wire we need, and we've got two options for black wires that tie together, right? So we just start touching, right? Got nothing. So there, yep, and that one. Not him, not the bottom half. That's a light switch though. I'm gonna turn him off. Yeah, not the bottom half, top half. Same thing with this. She has a light switch. I have it off. Now we don't on the top half, but we do on the bottom. None of these are three-way switches. So what it looks like is this wire goes to it, which goes into this guy, And this top wire also goes with this guy. So this one has that wire on it. That means that we're gonna have, of these, 1, 2, it's like 5 going in. We have one for a switch, one for a switch. One's gonna be power coming in from downstairs, and another is gonna be going out to our buddy. And you can see this one right here goes out to this switch, the dimmer switch for the rest of the room. So only one of these, only these 2 wires right here, one's gonna be power from the outside world, from the breaker downstairs, and the other one is gonna be going up into this wire and be on that end. That's the one we want to get rid of. So once we take this joint apart and test these wires, only one of them will beat. And that's the one we leave disconnected when we put it back together. And then we know it's apart. That's our guy right there. So with that disconnected, we won't have any voltage going up through the line. And what we'll do is we'll poke back in here and see which actual wire it is and try to pull the whole thing out of the box. You know, less clutter is better. Okay, so we're all disconnected. It's that guy right there where I'm pointing. So what I do is I pull the wires and I cut them as close to this as I can. So when I go up in the attic and give this thing a rip to try to get it, well, it's not super tight in there. When I give that a pull, it's not going to try to pull any of this other stuff with it. So otherwise, I'll leave this apart until it's pulled. Then I'll stuff it all back together and go downstairs, flip it on, and see if we get any fireworks. Okay, everything's back in place. We got fan, these front lights, right? They come on and off. And then these 2 lights now on the same switch. So next thing will be taking that vent out and tearing the wall down, which will be 1 step. So I think we leave the vent and the wall in place until we get things set up to do it on this side. I think she wants the controls centered, and then the rail that holds the hand sprayer on the right, and then the faucet will be centered higher up. So I need to determine how far over the curb is going to be, and then where the glass is going to be, and then figure out how thick this is going to get with tile, so that from the tile to the glass I can find center point. And hopefully the center point is such that I can tie it inside of the stud and not have to move things around. But it being a non-load bearing wall, right, it doesn't do anything. We have a little leeway to be able to cut this and put headers across and modify it to meet our needs.